morning, Taipei. Thanks for the invitation, Richard. It's a pleasure to be here. I came all the way from Shanghai to Taipei.
Point that way.
I'm a little bit more of a traditional maker. I'm not so much into high-tech. But let me start with talking about my past, because I have to a little bit explain what I was doing before I was doing what I'm doing now. So my background is in prosthetics. Prosthetics means artificial legs. I've been doing artificial legs for people who lost their legs in accidents or through illness. I've been doing that for 17 years, and I kind of climbed my career ladder, and at some point I ended up in a position where I was mostly sitting in front of the computer instead of standing in the workshop and building stuff as I used to do in my earlier career. I didn't like that very much, and after 17 years in prosthetics, I decided to quit my job and start something new. I knew that I wanted to do something with my hands. I wanted to build stuff. I had no idea what I wanted to build exactly, but I needed a space, I needed a workshop to build stuff. So I was looking around in Shanghai and found this beautiful space, and I thought, okay, that's exactly the space I need. I have a lot of space, I can make a nice workshop. I would also put my apartment there inside, and after 6 weeks of renovation, this is the space that we have now. In order, I just quit my job. I went traveling between my last job and doing this, so I wanted to save some money for the renovation, so we used old material to do the renovation. So the bricks you can see are second-hand bricks from destroyed houses. We used some old wood flooring to make our wooden floor. So I also started to build my first pieces of furniture during the time of the renovation. So I built, let's say, this modular sofa from old shipping pallets. You can combine them, you can put 2 and 2 together, you have an additional bed, or you can put 4 of them together, you have a huge guest bed, or you can just use them as single units, just as a seating. I made this bathroom thing from an old dresser that I found on the street. So I did this stuff. Oh, here, one more thing, a gas stove made from an old Chinese table. I just tried to save money. I like all this old stuff, and I didn't really think much about it. I just did what I wanted to do. And at some point I started to do some online research and was looking around if there is other people doing something similar. I found out I was doing upcycling. I've never heard of upcycling before. I knew recycling, but upcycling was new to me. I knew recycling was taking waste and transform it into new raw material. I found out that upcycling is actually better than recycling because you take waste and transform it into something of greater use and greater value. So I found out what I was actually doing. I thought it was a cool concept, and today I'm still doing upcycling. A lot of my material is coming from here. This is Shanghai Old Town. Sadly, it's disappearing more and more. As soon as you see this sign on the walls of the houses, it means this house is going to be demolished very soon. And these guys are coming, knock down everything. But the good thing about China is everything which can be resold, or everything that you can make money with, they make money with. So they sort out all the material that can be used in some ways, and they resell it. So this is my supplier for wood. He's a small guy, I think private business. He collects the wood from these demolished houses and resells it to his neighbors or to people who are interested. So there I get my wood, and this is how it looks like when it arrives at my studio. I have to clean it, I have to remove all the old nails, sometimes there is concrete on it, I sort it by size, fix it together, work on it for many days, sand it, oil it, and finally it turns into, let's say, a nice dining table. What I love about this material or about this way of working is, like, it's just beautiful, all these colors that come out, the texture is so nice, like you can even see the rusty nails still inside the wood. It just has a very personal feel, like that you don't find in mass-produced furniture. So you see the history of these pieces, you see this wood has been used for something else before. There's a very interesting texture, and it makes a very unique character. Even if I build 4 pieces of the same size and shape, each piece is unique. It looks different. So, but there is a couple of challenges when you're working with old material. As you can see in this movie, it takes a lot of time to process this material. Sourcing is also quite difficult because, I mean, I know a little bit where they destroy houses, where I can go to get my material, but sometimes if I have a very concrete idea what I want to build, it's very difficult to find the exactly right material to do so. So it's very time-consuming to find the right material. And then, as I said, the condition of the material is not 100% good. You have to clean it, you have to remove old nails, you have to remove concrete, it's not straight, you name it. It involves a lot of work. My design process is very hands-on. I'm not like an industrial designer making very precise 3D models on the computer and then try to turn it into reality. I sometimes don't even have a very clear idea what it's going to look like at the end. My approach is more like, I have like a general idea, I probably make a simple sketch, then I go sourcing for material, and then most of the times I have to adapt my idea to the material that I find, because I didn't find probably the exactly right material. And then I build it. I build it myself. I don't have any employees. I recently started working with some students that help me build some stuff. But I build basically everything by myself in my workshop. Another way of my approach could be I'm going sourcing for material, and I find a very nice piece that I know I would use it for something, or I might have even a very concrete idea. So I buy it, make a simple sketch, and build it afterwards. So that's how I work. For example, this piece, it's an old window frame, a complete window frame taken out of an old house. I found it like this at this old wood cellar you saw before on the picture. I bought it. I didn't exactly know what I would do with it. It was standing around in my workshop for maybe half a year until I finally decided to build this kind of sideboard. Just the whole front is this window frame. Behind it, I built this cabinet, basically. Another thing I made from old wood is this bed. Very funny story, actually. It's a friend of mine who bought it, a German architect in Shanghai. And like a couple of weeks after I delivered the bed, his wife was pregnant. So I'm not sure if it had anything to do with the bed, but it happened like that. Another piece made of old wood, and another table, but this time with steel legs. A couple of lamps I made from old wood. Another one of my favorite materials I'm working with is this old biscuit tins, Shanghainese Pinggang. They're about 30 years old. People have been using them for many years just to store rice inside or other stuff in the kitchen. And now they can afford going to the IKEA and buy new stuff for their kitchen. They throw away all these tins. I go and buy them again. Of course, nothing is for free. There's people collecting them and reselling them. I buy them. and build furniture from them. I'm not only building furniture, I started to think about other ways to use these old tins. These are clocks I made from the tins. I made more furniture, table and benches. I made an amplifier with iPhone dock, speakers, and lamps from these old biscuit tins. And I'm sure I will have some more crazy ideas of how to use these biscuit tins. The biscuit tin lamp, the cool thing about it is it's touch sensitive. That's as far as my technology is going. You can touch them anywhere to switch them on and off. Another material I started working or started to experiment with a very long time ago actually already is glass bottles. I wanted to be able to cut glass bottles and create new shapes and create new products from empty glass bottles. It's a very DIY approach that I'm using here. It's you can find a lot of different instructions on the internet how to use or how to cut glass bottles into different parts. So this is the way that works best for me. I use a glass cutter to score a line and some ice and a candle to heat it up and cool it down, and then at some point it breaks. A lot of the bottles still break at the wrong place, but this is the way it works best for me. From the glass, I make lamps, for example, or other products like drinking glasses, bowls, carafes, or flower vases like this. Just another couple of samples of stuff that I'm doing. A lamp made of a tea kettle or hot water kettle. It's a very typical Shanghainese brand. They are still produced this way. These are not new. I get them directly from the factory. It's not really upcycling, I would say. This is repurposing. An old suitcase I turn into a sound system with speaker unit and amplifier and iPhone dock. Just 2 speakers made from old suitcases. The old TVs, I'm taking all the old electronics out and replace it with a digital picture frame so you can upload your own pictures and show your family pictures or holiday pictures. This TV is a digital picture frame and an iPhone dock and an amplifier, and then you can hook up your speakers to it as well. I'm using old clocks. Old telephones to make clocks, and I think this is the right picture because my time is up. So thank you very much. 감사합니다. arigato.